Many of us live with anxiety because our entire life, our currency in the United States has had no value, no intrinsic value. And now the purchasing power is even going down. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that there was a time when the dollar was connected and identified and valued based on gold. That time has passed. And once the dollar got unified with petroleum, with oil, through agreements with Saudi Arabia and the United States, then everybody in other countries had to have United States dollars to purchase energy. So they had to buy money to buy energy. Brazil, Russia, South Africa, and China coming together. There's other countries that are under agreements with large nations like China. And these agreements make it to where their currency is now usable for exchange for oil directly with Saudi Arabia, or natural gas with France, or any number of petroleum-based energies with Russia. What does this mean? This means that since the 1970s, America, the United States, has been exporting their debt through pushing Federal Reserve notes into the global economy. Now all of those remittances and all of those US dollar payments in other countries are set to come back to the shores of the United States. And when that money floods back into the United States, what happens to the money in our pocket? What happens to the purchasing power? What happens to the value? As we consider the question about what's going to happen with this purchasing power of the United States dollar, let's consider the other question about ownership, sovereignty. What's the difference between food security and food sovereignty? Which term gets people paid? Which term brings on anxiety, and why? So these are the potatoes popping through the mulch. And on this other side here, you have the fava beans with the broccolis, cauliflowers, bok choys. For decades now, the United States has been exporting debt in the form of US dollars. And now there's countries like Brazil, Russia, South Africa, and China coming together to think about creating their own currency. Now, what would that do? And their currency would be backed by gold and natural resources. Whereas the United States, we've just been connecting our money to oil that belongs to other people, oil that's in someone else's land. This makes it dangerous for us. And now we're realizing that it's about being productive. A production-based economy or a consumer-based economy. What gives value to currency? Is it the minerals under the ground? Is it the land itself? Is it how many people the land can feed? What is it that gives value to the currency of a nation? And when the life cycle of a currency starts to come to an end, what are some of the symptoms and what are some of the safe havens? What is it that we should focus our attention on? Some people think we're growing food just for market. We grow food to feed ourselves. What do you think? Just had a nice sprinkling of a rain to clean some of the diatomaceous earth and lime powder off of the plants, and now look at this place. Gorgeousness. We give thanks for life. We give thanks for the soil. We give thanks for understanding priorities, the priority of food seeds in this pod, and then seeds in this pod, seeds in this pod. We thought we bought all one seed. One plant is 2 feet tall, one plant is 6 feet tall. Which seeds do you save? Depends on what you want. Look at the pods, look at the colors, look at the plant. This is all coming from one seed. So we are looking at creating or visiting an idea of a production-based system. Are we looking for equity or ownership? When we strive for equity, we miss out on ownership. Grow where you are.